Happy Monday. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. 24 hours to go, and we will be playing with the Showdown in the Badlands packs. But before that, in case you are wanting to play the game that we all love, before that, here's a couple of decks that you can start playing. Don't know how great these will be at the end of the week, but to start the week, to get you start climbing, if you want to start climbing, I got a couple of decks for you. So before we do that, Ridiculous Hat posts some information for what to do before the new expansion launches in terms of your achievements and experience and what have you. So this is how your quests log should look on Sunday. So before you go to bed on Sunday, this is how your quest deck should have looked like, and it should be set up for Monday to have the weekly quests pop up, and then for you to be able to have something on Monday and then something on Tuesday when the expansion goes live. That'll give you a full quest log when the expansion launches. It's very easy to get those first quests done. You'll be able to jam through a whole bunch of early levels. In fact, I think it's like you're able to go through up to level 20 just by the finishing up those weeklies and a few of the dailies. So this is what you can do if you want to do it. Some people say, hey, I'm not worried about it because I'll just get the quests and it'll all even out at the end. So it's just personal preference, but that's something that you should look into just in case. I will leave the link to this little note below just so you have it so you can take a look at it. But I know it's Monday and I'm filming this on a Sunday because I like to be proactive, and this might not work for you. So it is what it is. Let's go over the meta, and the meta is kind of the same of what it was last week. Some of the decks I'm going to talk about are a little bit the same, but there is a new one, and I want to talk about some of the decks that I've showed before. Win rates: Paladin is high on the food chain, Warrior, Hunter, Warlock, Priest is right up there, Rogue is right up there. It's a good mix, like it was before. Druid is just blah, Death Knight is just blah, and so is Demon Hunter. I'm going to create a companion video, probably put it out either later on tonight, about some of the cards that I think are pretty good to craft, at least for the first week of the expansion. We'll see how that works. Okay, so to get into the meta, the last 7 days it's been Aggro Paladin. We're going to talk about Aggro Paladin because there's one that's much less than 5,000 dust, and I just wanted to show you Big Rogue and Rage Warrior, Totem Shaman. Like I said, it's almost the same thing as it was before, but there is a lot of things that you can do with each one of the classes. There's even something there for Demon Hunter, so every class is represented. I feel like I say that all the time, so apologies in advance. Let's go through Unholy Death Knight. We did talk about this last week. It is still there, 55.5% win rate, and the good thing about it is 0 dust. Won't cost you any money whatsoever. Don't have to spend those dust things, and then look, the popularity has been growing in the past couple of weeks. So it's getting up there. So it is what it is. It's the same thing that we talked about last week. It's working to build up your corpses, getting those corpses killed as much as possible, building that big corpse list, and then boom, Lord Marrowgar, which will raise all of your corpses as 1/1 risen golems with rush, and for each that can't fit, give 1 +2/+2. And then you have Stitch Giant, which makes it super cheap with the amount of stuff that you're doing. I love Army of the Dead because it raises up to 5, and then it makes them as 2/2 ghouls with rush. This one right here, Ymurjar Deathbringer. I keep on saying that wrong. Spend 3 corpses to summon a 3/3 risen Ymurjar with taunt. There's a lot of things here. Anti-magic shell. Give your minions +1/+1 and can't be targeted by spells or hero power. So it's a good deck. You've got Plague Grain that rounds things out, and you're gaining corpses and then shuffling things in your deck that'll summon more undead. This is a good deck, good starter deck for you to play around with. The win rates have been pretty good. I think this one will stick around a little bit after the meta, especially for those that are budget savvy. Next one I want to talk about, this is Aggro Paladin. It's 3,680 dust. It's a little bit more than I usually want to talk about, at least recently, but it's a good deck. And the cool thing is that I'm looking at this deck and I'm looking at the cards from Showdown in the Badlands. I think that this deck will have some play in the future. So let's go into it. Number one, you're just building those small minions, nothing to be worried about. You've got some healing. You could draw a card. For Quithalas, this is what I'd like to talk about. This one right here, you want to use with your Horn of the Windlord, so you can go ahead and have big minions. It's big swings. It's Wind Fury, so you can hit twice. You've got Seal of Blood, which gives a minion +3/+3 in Divine Shield. It's got Countess here. When Countess is normally busted, it gives you 3 legendary potential. It's really good card. It's one of my favorite cards of Paladin right now. And then Light Ray, super cheap. You'll get this thing super quick. I think the most I've played this on is actually 4 mana. And then Garden's Grace, you got 2 of these. It is give a minion +5/+5, and Divine Shield costs 1 less for each mana you've spent on holy spells this game. Guess what? Most everything that you see is a holy spell. You should be fine. And then one of the things I wanted to go ahead and go over is Resistance Aura. I like this card a lot. It's a common card. It's a holy spell, and it is for 2 mana. Your opponent's spells cost 1 more and it lasts 3 turns. This really messes up your opponent for a couple of turns. So I like this card. I like this entire deck. It's pretty good against Demon Hunter. It's pretty good against Death Knight. It's pretty good against Druid. It's pretty good against most of the other matchups. So I would consider trying this. The win rate right now is at a 60.2%. It's a good deck, and I think a lot of the cards in here, if you do have to craft any, will be around for a little bit longer. Next up, Hunter deck. We talked about this last week. I was a little surprised that it was as good as it was. It's still at a 60.4% win rate. It's just a traditional Hunter deck. It's got Doggy Biscuit. It's got Beasts. It's got the ability to grab those 2/1 bats, excuse me. It's got Quick Shot. It's got the normal Hunter package. It's a good starter deck for you to get situated. Barrel of Monkeys. I love Barrel of Monkeys. It's a good card. A bunch of Bananas. It's also a good card. And the cool thing is, too, I posted this last week, and I still wanted to talk about it. It's 1,760 dust. And look at this. One of my comments from last week got 13 wins in a row with the Hunter deck. Thanks. That's amazing. For you to be able to get 13 wins in a row in this type of meta right now, where there's really expensive decks going on, that's really cool. I would definitely suggest trying this deck out. And like I said, 1,760 dust. You probably have a lot of these cards, and you won't have to dust too many of them. Craft too many of them. Excuse me. To round out, we're going to go through Treant Druid. It's 1,360 dust with a 61.9% win rate, and it's just Treants. Build Treants, build Treants, build Treants. You got Cultivation. That'll sit there, and it'll give your minions +2/+2. So you build a board with Treants or Druid minions, and then you go ahead and smack them in the face about 50,000 times. It's a good deck. It's something to try out. It's pretty good against all other classes right now. You see on the matchups, you saw that Druid was really low, but Bronze through Legend, Bronze through Gold, this is a good deck. And it's super cheap for you to try out. I think Druid's going to be very, very strong in the next meta with the new expansion that launches. So get yourself used to at least fighting and playing against Druid. Okay, next one up is Drum Druid, and this is going to round it out. 2,280 dust with a 62.5% win rate. These games are very easy to win. If you go through and look at the verses, win rates are amazing. There's not one below 52%. That's a big number right there. And this is a Drum Druid. You're working to build your board, and then you're using Drum Circle, which summons 5/2/2 Treants, or give your minions +2/+4 at Taunt. So the board will be very difficult to beat. And then Cultivation. Give your minions +2/+2 and cost 1 less for each Treant you've summoned this game. Both of these decks are a little similar. So if you have the ability to play the one, most likely you have the ability to play the other. And again, like I said, these decks are probably going to last for a couple of days, and then so many things are going to change. So what I would do is I would look into trying 1 or 2 of these during the Monday and the early Tuesday, and then start seeing how the meta shapes up. I will be live on expansion launch day. I'm going to go ahead and create that second video right now, and I'll post it. It'll probably be posted before you even see this, about some of the cards that I feel are going to be strong for this meta. meta for Showdown in the Badlands coming out. And yeah, let's just have a lot of fun this week. The new expansion launches are normally the best times to be playing Hearthstone. It's just so new, so fresh. There's so much cool things that you can see. I'm very excited. I hope you are too. I'm at 1,034 subs because of y'all. I really, really appreciate it, and I want you guys to have as much fun as possible. I'll see you in the tavern.